Hello, welcome to our online class. So today we will be discussing about Python. So Python is actually a scripting language as Google defined it. It's commonly used for developing websites and software task automation, data analysis, and data visualization. One worthy detail is it says here that it is relatively easy to learn. That's why it's been adopted by many non-programmers. So, hoping that it will be easy to learn uh, by our introduction to Python discussion. So, we could run actually Python in different IDEs. Uh, we could also run it using our command line. So, I will not be discussing anymore on how to install Python in your local machine. There are plenty of tutorials found in the web. So for now, as a reference, let's check my Python version. So I'm actually using the version 3.12. Okay. Now, let's try to see some codes for Python. So as a tradition, as we always do in learning new programming language, we always try to print first the phrase "Hello World." So to do that, I'm just going to utilize my CMD. I'm going to use the print function. So I'm just going to type hello world and hit enter. And we have successfully printed the phrase hello world. There are many other platforms to execute your scripts in Python. Some of them are Anaconda, you have your Jupyter Notebook, and of course, Google Colab. In this video, we are going to use Google Colab. So here, since Google Colab is an online platform for running scripts in Python, of course, this is powered by Google. The only downside of this is it is dependent on your internet connection. So let's try to run the similar code that we have run in our command line interface. So again, I'm going to utilize the print function. Inside of that is a string that says hello world. So let's hit the play button and wait for our compiler or our notebook to run our Python script. There we have it. So we have successfully used Google Colab in running our code. So going on, if you notice, Python could also utilize variables and can store different data types. Our data types in Python is not explicitly declared, unlike other programming language, wherein you should first type the data type of the expected value to be stored in a variable. As you can see, we have here uh, five variables wherein they have different values. Such variable data types in Python are integer, float, string, boolean, and the none type. We also have the input function wherein we could actually cater input from our user. So, for instance, we will be modifying our code. Okay, so I'm going to use the input function. Then I'm going to ask for the name. Okay? Since we're going to ask an input from our user, it is proper to store it in a variable. Okay? So that after installing it in a variable, we could actually print that. So let's say hello. Then we're going to concatenate that using our variable. Let's try to execute it. So there we have it. Since we have utilized the input function, we are going to input our name, and later on that will be used as an argument within our print function. Going back to our notes, we have a different way of doing things or printing the values, such as adding F and curly braces. So let's try to see if what is the difference. Let's modify our code. Still print function. Then we're going to use F. F here indicates that uh, we are going to print a formatted string. So I'm going to tell here hello. Okay. Then comma and our variable name. So let's check if we have the same output. So there we have it. We have a similar output, which is hello one. So again, F here means that it's a formatted string, and the curly braces here indicates that this is a variable and its value should be printed together with the string. Okay, so that is using the input function. In Python also, as other programming languages, we could also use conditions. The only uh, noticeable change is we do not use uh, curly braces to indicate the start and the end or the scope of our conditional statements, but instead in Python, the spacing and or the indentation is very important to tell the scope of the code. Okay, so let's try to code this one in our Colab notebook or Google Colab. So I'm going to create a new code. So that would be an if. Okay, if x is greater than 0, okay, as I've mentioned, the indentation is very important. Then we're going to print, let's say x is positive again. Then we have the word here, elif, which is equivalent to else if we're going to utilize another condition. Okay, then we're going to uh, print x is negative. Okay, so again, let's try to utilize or follow our indentation to indicate the scope of the code. Then else, I'm going to print uh, if it's not negative or it's not positive, then x is 0. Okay? So we have here script where it determines the if x is positive, negative, or 0. Again, emphasizing that indentation in Python is very important since that is the one used to determine the scope of a certain block of codes. Now, uh, x is not defined, so using our previous functions learned, we're going to use the input function. So we're going to ask the user to input a number. Okay. So let's say enter a number. Okay. Then we're going to save that into a variable which is of course x. Now we're going to try to run our code. So let's say let's enter a number, for example 1. Then we have encountered an error. So the error here is type error. So it means that the instances of string and integer. Okay, so since we have actually used the input function or in, since we are using string as a parameter, we are actually storing here a value of a string into our variable x. Since x here is a string, then the compiler says that x could not be compared, a string cannot be compared to an integer. So to fix this error, we use the uh, typecasting. So that's one problem in programming languages where we do not explicitly declare the data type of our variables. So in here, it is our input is treated as a string. So to do that, we're going to use or do typecasting. We're going to tell that this input is actually an integer type. Okay, so I'm just going to just place there the word int so that whatever is entered here as an input, it will be converted into an integer. Let's try to run it again. Example 4. Then our code is now working. It tells us that 4 or x is positive. Okay, let's try another. Let's try negative 4. So it's going to tell us that x is negative. Okay, then we'll be discussing some data structures, mostly used in Python. So we have list, tuple, set, dictionary, and others. So for now, we'll be discussing these four commonly used data structures in Python. So first is list. So it says here, list is a sequence of mutable values. So when we say mutable values, it means that the values of that data structure could actually be edited, could be changed, or it could we could insert additional items or values on that list. Okay? So let's try to create a list in our Google Colab. So for example, I'm going to create uh, a variable name. Then going to, since that will be a list, okay, I'm going to have uh, Harry, let's say Ron, and Pedro. Okay, so to indicate that this is an array, so whenever you see here brackets, this means that the variable is containing a list of values or an array of values. So let's try to, since this is an array of values, let's try to print, uh, for example, the first value. So in an array, we access the values using their index. So for example, I'm going to access the first value, which is Harry. So I'm going to access index 0. So it's a common knowledge that in an array, we always start counting at 0. Let's try to run it. So there we have it. We have actually access or printed Harry since we have access index 0. Okay, so again, that is a list. Now, we could actually, as I've told you, list is mutable. Okay, so we could modify, insert additional values in our list. So we could do that by uh, using the keyword or the function append. Okay, so append meaning we're going to add a value to our existing list. So let's try to print our variable name. And if you notice, we have now from three, we have now four. So we have Harry, Ron, Pedro, and Draco. Okay, now we could also actually sort the values inside that list by doing, of course, or using the function sort. So we're going to apply that in our variable name. Then I'm going to use the function sort. Then I'm going to print again our variable name. So if you notice, it's now sorted. So we have Draco, Harry, Pedro, and Ron. So that is a list. Next is tuple. So when we say tuple, it is actually a sequence of uh, immutable values. So when we say immutable values, these are values that cannot be edited or could not be modified after creating the data structure. for example, I have here a coordinate. Okay. So I have here a coordinate, x, which is equal to 10.0. I also have coordinate y, which is, let's say, 20.0. Now, I would just like to combine them. So that would be coordinate. Let's say coordinates. I would like to combine coordinate x and coordinate y. So that would just be creating a new value which combine the the two values of coordinate x and coordinate y. See, that would be variable coordinate, or that is the tuple that we have just created. Again, since as we mentioned, tuple is immutable. So after creating the tuple, or the sequence, that could not be longer edited or modified. So actually, it's a pair of values or sequence of values that is uh, prohibited to be modified. So that's the main difference of list and tuple. Next would be our set. Okay. So again, set as defined here is a collection of unique values. So it's a list, but the values inside cannot be duplicated, since as the definition tells us, it's a collection of unique values. So let's try to create a set in our Google Colab. Also, like other programming languages, we could actually utilize comments. So for Python, we use the pound sign or number sign. For example, let's have here creating sets. Okay, so I'm going just to create variable s, which will be my set. So this would be an empty set. Now I would like to add values to my set. To to do that, instead of using append, since append is for list, I could use the function add. Okay, so I'm going to add one, okay, two, and three. Okay. After that, let's try to print our set. So we have here an output of uh, one, two, and three. Now, we could also have here, for example, we would like to remove, since we have added some values, we could also remove by using the keyword remove. For example, I would like to remove uh, item number two. So I'm just going to tell the or use the remove function. And if we're going to print it again, the values of our set would be 1 and 3. The final values would be 1 and 3. We could also count the elements or items in our set by actually using the function length. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to print a formatted value again, wherein I'm going to say the set has, okay, so the length of the set, then say elements. Okay, so let's try to do that. Says here, the set has two elements. We have counted the number of elements using the function length. Okay, so that is our uh, introduction to Python. So as we proceed in our next discussion, we will further discuss more about Python.